Hi, my name is Brandon and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. And today I wanted to talk about why I'm not drunk, why I'm not stoned, why I've stayed sober so far for 18 months. And to help with that, I'm going to read a short selection from A New Pair of Glasses by Chuck C. He says, "Why am I not drunk tonight? Because I have the thing I was looking for in the bottle. And that's the only reason I'm not drunk. That's the only reason I'm not drunk. I have the thing I was looking for in the bottle." Now, what is the thing? The king-size hurt is gone. So, much like Chuck, I have found in sobriety a lot of things that I was looking for in my alcohol and drug use. One of the biggest reasons that I used alcohol in the beginning and in a large part of my use was to feel more comfortable in social situations. Except that worked okay for a little bit, but now that I'm looking back on it, I wasn't actually more comfortable in those situations. I just had less inhibition in those situations. And that's a very different feeling, because now I'm comfortable in social situations. Now I can go into a crowded room full of strangers and strike up conversations without feeling self-conscious, without being worried that people are judging me. I know there's a big possibility people are judging me, but it no longer concerns me, because I know that that's not really my business, what they think of me. My business is to try to make friends where I go and try to be a good person to the people that I meet along the way in life. So this discomfort that I had in social situations, all of a sudden it's gone. And when I look back at my history of alcohol use, I really, as time went on during my alcohol use, I became less and less comfortable in social situations, in part because of my alcohol use. So what started as a social lubricant, as a lot of people call it, quickly became something that was more of a handicap to me in social situations. I would be anxious before going to a party because I'd be worried I would get too drunk, because that happened. I would go to a party, I would get too drunk, and then either not remember what happened the night before, have to ask people to fill in the gaps, or do something foolish that that was embarrassing. And those are the kind of situations that in my sobriety, I don't have to worry about any of that any more than the next person. There's always a possibility that I could do or say something foolish, and I'm sure that I do that on a regular basis. But it's just because I'm a human being and not because I'm a drunk human being. One of the reasons, another drug that I really liked was pot. And one of the reasons that I liked smoking marijuana is that it made me, I thought it was going to help me be cool, calm, collected. That's what I wanted, to be just relaxed and chilled out and calm and collected. The truth is that there was actually a period where I couldn't smoke at all, because every time I smoked, I got panic attacks. And this certainly isn't the experience for everybody, but that was my experience. Every time I smoked, I would get panic attacks. And that came and went over the years of use. I used marijuana for 20 years on a close to daily basis for a very significant portion of that time. And what I found is that in my sobriety, I've actually achieved those cool, calm, collected moments and that mindset that I always wanted to get from the drug. I always thought I could achieve that through the drug, and instead I get that just by being the person that I am now and doing the things that I've been taught to do in my recovery program. And so the things that I was looking for in booze, in pot, those things I get now all the time sober. And that's why I don't drink. That's why I don't smoke. And that's why I don't feel a temptation to do those things. Because I have found in recovery the things that I was looking for in my addiction. I was reading an article yesterday and it was an article by someone who was really saying some pretty disparaging things about Alcoholics Anonymous as a way of treating addiction, as a way of treating alcoholism. And I started to get a little worked up during the article because it was a very biased view of things, and this person was only interviewing people who the program had not worked out for, and wasn't talking to anybody about who it had worked out for. And it seemed very one-sided, and I had to remind myself, throughout the article to keep an open mind, and that, I can probably get some good from just reading and taking this in. But one thing that struck me in the article was that the author kept going back to how there are all sorts of treatments available to help people learn how to moderate their drinking and to moderate things like cannabis use. And I marveled at that a little bit, because I can't imagine wanting to do that. Why would I want to try to introduce a drink or two into my life when I have everything I've ever wanted as a sober person? And so, again, I know that's just me. I don't know how other people feel about it. I can tell you this. I know that my life is infinitely better without alcohol or drugs in it. And one of the reasons is that I've gotten finally everything that I ever wanted from alcohol and drugs. I've gotten it by being sober. And that's one of the paradoxes of recovery, is that what we thought we were getting, what we wanted and hoped for through our drug and alcohol use, becomes reality in sobriety, and so much more. So there's so much more to life than we ever thought there could be when we were using and drinking. And those are the rewards that convince me that there's no need for moderation for me, as someone who was brought to their knees by drugs and alcohol, lower than my knees, as someone who was taken down to the ground by drugs and alcohol. There's no need to try to moderate. Sobriety works great and has given me everything that I could hope for. And I hope that people take comfort in that if you just do what people tell you to do in your program of recovery, that can happen. Life can be far, far greater than it ever was when you had alcohol and drugs in it. And I am living proof of that. So that's it for today. I hope you have a good one, and I'll be back here tomorrow with more.